Yeah, I got an idea.
Okay? So what I want you to understand, I want them to be, I also want you to understand that excitedmoon.com for a long time was their community. And God called me and showed you that stuff I'm going to show you tonight. And He didn't give me any help. He didn't give me any skill. I dig ditches or dug ditches for a living. I pull people off, fired them, and got mad at them, and did them going and don't get them going. That's why I got here to do something. But I never learned the proper English. I don't know how to write that. I didn't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. So I had to learn all these things by myself. We prayed for help for a long time. In the last 20 years, 5 years, 5 or 6 years, we started getting help. Yeah, on was me and Jackie and Judy, and then Pauline. It was just and James. That's all we had. We answered all the textbooks. But now we're getting a team together, and Sandra is part of the team. And I love her and I hate her, right? Because the thing that she brings to the table is things that I miss. A woman's perspective that they don't want to hear. And she makes me hear it, whether I want to or not. And don't be told me off when I don't want to be told her. And she's not afraid to do it. And I need that, and I love it. And I'm still going to make mistakes, and she's still going to hold me accountable. So I want to do that. Ella, monitor. This little sweet old lady is about as tough as nails. And her opinion, her wisdom, is something else that we've been able to recruit and incorporate into what we call our executive team. There's another young lady, they're all young ladies. I am who doesn't want to be on camera. Kim, I call her my PR. She, at the NRB, she goes around and she makes all the appointments with me on all the other radio and television stations. That was her job. And then since then, she's been helping to keep me organized. And she's got these brochures that she's going to give out to y'all so you can see what we're doing. What we're trying to do. So what I want you to understand is where your money's going, where your donations for crimes are going. I still need clothes. And I still drive an old beat up car. I haven't got the airplane yet. I can't hope it's going to send me through. Right? No. You're going to find out how close you are at the end of the day. And that's what we need to do to focus on getting this message out. Stuart, I don't know if you want to come up, Stuart or not, Stuart or Saunders' wife. Sandra is Stuart's wife. I told you I don't speak very well. Yes, I wish I had. But Stuart came on a few years ago and helped us work through what we call Active Dating Help Again and Active Dating BBC, which was incorporating two different entities to do a different type of work. One was charitable and one was bringing in businesses. And he spent a lot of time methodically going through each step to incorporate this. In the end, it all folded up. But he did that. He stuck it up. And out of that, I got a friend and I got somebody to do something to help us. And I get to do what I do best, that is teach about sex. James is another guy. He does our website. And James is really cheap. He won't spend a nickel. And we say, spend it, get it ready, fix it. Well, it's going to be $100 or $30. I said, spend the $100, fix it. So he does, and the site is expanding, and it's crashing now again because we're getting more and more hits to it. So he has to expand it again, which is good. So these are good problems, but these are the people that are now helping. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, we have a meeting every Tuesday night. So Stuart been doing this meeting with us every Tuesday night for this video. We've been doing the executive thing at the same time.
Yeah, about the same time.
And every Tuesday they come, we discuss stuff. Shane is another one. Shane, just so you know, Shane. I made a mistake last year at the NRV, this year, in March. I didn't know how many books to order, so I ordered 1,000 books. We were supposed to sell 1,000 books at the NRV. But these ladies didn't do that job. No, we didn't sell, we sold maybe 100 books. We put them in storage. We had, we sold another 500 books and they got brought back. Shane drove all the way to Nebraska, down to Dallas, picked up the books, took them all out of storage, loaded them all up, brought them downstairs, put them in his truck by himself with Randy, and then brought them back to Nebraska, offloaded them there at his place, picked up the banners, which were in Dallas, offloaded them at his place, and packed everything back in his truck to see how they fit, and then brought them here. Now, after this week, but Mitzi's leaving. Mitzi and her mom help me do the accounting. Yeah. They help me do the accounting to make sure I want to try to be transparent. So I'm not sticking all the money here. Rose. Rose looks after our widows, or she helps me keep track of the widows. So in the 3rd and 6th year, any widows' money, she makes sure that I distribute it to them, that doesn't put in the account to get lost. But she keeps me on my toes there. Eileen Espinoza from Colorado. She does videos all by herself. And she makes a lot of the short videos. And Shane's also doing the short videos now. You become an audio visual expert. And Shane, I didn't finish, but Shane's going to be driving me up to New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania after that. Bringing all this stuff with him. That's why we want to get rid of the books. We got room in this truck for my suitcase. Yeah. Right? I just want you to see what we're trying to do. We need more help. Ryan. Oh, Ryan is fairly new. He came to us back in Passover time. I've now asked him to do the podcasting. So on the podcasting, he's going to do it in English and Japanese, because he's fluent in Japanese. We've got Ike and Amara. Ike is from northern Philippines. He speaks Tagalog. Amara speaks Cebuano or Visayas. And they're going to do it in their native language and put it on there. And I've been talking to others to do other languages and to help us do this. What I want Sight and Moon to be is not to be the Joe Show. Oh. Yes, you can. And Pauline does all our graphics. Pauline designed it. Well, I designed it, but she had to fix it so it could be printed on this side of thing. Pauline does all our book covers. All of our book covers are done by Pauline. She's brilliant. And for doing graphics and stuff like that, she would just design this book for you too, right? Who else? Randy's been coming with me to check the barley in Israel. And I didn't know I wanted somebody to travel with me until he just showed up. And I couldn't do that for me. I couldn't get off there. But he's just been fun. With Randy, I don't have to be on my guard. I don't have to be careful what I say. I can be normal. I can chum around, bump around. So he went with me to Mount Sinai in Saudi Arabia. He was going to go with me to Noah's Ark in Turkey, but I canceled. He went by himself. He's been to Israel with me a bunch of times, searching for the barley and doing tours. And we're going to be doing another barley tour this spring. Oh, Shauna also helps us in the Zoom meetings. We're getting, there's not lots of people. Look,
correctly, and she's on the correct.
And Turkey, what else?
And Gary.
Oh, Gary and Cola in Australia, and Cola's translated.
Song.
You need to sit up to let the sound of it.
That's what I need help. I need help. So Cola's now translated the riddle book into Chinese
And.
and the 10 days of awe. She just finished the 10 days of awe into Chinese. What? What?
Nothing, keep going.
Peter.
Peter, oh, Peter, yes,
Here.
Peter and,
And
and. Oh, they're part of the group. Peter and Anthony.
What is it?
He's like,
We are?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm losing control. So there's other things. So what I'm saying is,
Peter and Anthony are resources in standby, waiting for a role to like get thrown into.
Peter's brilliant. But we don't, I don't work for him. We haven't thought it's possible. Anthony's wanting to help, but Anthony's got certain restrictions that I won't mention here. So what I'm saying is, there's room for you here. If you have a skill set, I don't have it. And God showed me this stuff knowing that I don't have the skill. So that I would have to ask for help.
body.
What?
That's right. It's a body.
Yeah.
It's a body. My hands don't know how to walk. My feet do. My feet can't feed me. Conversations. Okay, so what I'm showing you this, and then Kim has been passing out the things that we're trying to do. We have been paid, we've been paying $5,000 to Front Gate Media to get me on other people's shows and podcasts. And we've done we've got 8, we've done 5, I'm doing 1 this Thursday and 2 more later on. And I did not, so Kim, make sure you tell me this part. I did not want to do these podcasts. I wanted to do the podcast, but I wanted to be on Christian podcasts. Christian podcast is everything. It's so wide open. So they are talking about the Nephilim, and they're talking about the conspiracy, and they're talking about the giants, and they're talking about everything else that I do not want to talk about. I said, why am I going on shows? One is a Muslim show. Why am I going on these shows? Just do it. No, but why? It's like, I want Christian shows. Just do it. My executives came up complaining to them. They said, just do it. Oh, okay, thank you.
Just do it.
Just do it. So I did. This Muslim show got 3 million viewers. It should be coming out this week. I haven't checked. It should be up this week. There's other Christian show that I wanted to do that 3 million views. Wow. The one Nephilim show. Right after the show was full of a ton of votes. Wow. So you should shut up, just do it. Now, after we finished here, Beva has been in our Zoom meeting watching it. She went out to her church and said, this guy has got something that you need to listen to. He's not too smart, doesn't speak properly, but you gotta listen to what he's saying. Then she went to another place called a synagogue and told the rabbi, who's wrestling with crescent moon or barley, Hillel, he's definitely Hillel. But he started to look at this other stuff. And then, so we're not going to show you that part tonight, but he said, you got to see this guy. So he's been coming to us and listening to what we're saying. And now he really wants to hear what I have to say about the Parliament. So then we go to Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. And she's trying to get something in South Carolina, and there's something else happening in California. It's a shame. He's not laughing. He's not listening. All right. What we're trying to do is we're on the final run. I believe we're on the final run. I hope I can show you everything. And so I'm all in. Everything that I'm doing is going to do. When I don't have enough money, I'm paying for it. I'm not bragging. I'm just, so the advertising now that we're about to start is $20,000 to get me on TBN Fox News, 700 Club, all these places here in Los Angeles. That's what we're trying to do, is get this message up. And I keep saying to God, Jehovah, you cannot drop the axe and not warn the people. And there's nobody else out here doing this warning. So you got to make it work. How do I do it? I don't know how to get on. I don't know how to get on TV. I've been banging on the door. If you look at that list that Kim passed out, there's maybe 20 people or 20 large groups that have been banging the door. I can't get through. The advertisers get through some, but not the door that I want. For now, $20,000, and I'm putting that money up to get on the TV. Once these are done, I'm redoing it. 5,000 again for 2 months, 20,000 over 4 months. And I'll keep doing it until we get them all. Now I'm doing it. So I want you to know what you're investing in. Because you've invested in these. My over buying thing, you've invested in these. So take as many as you want. You just need about 40 or 50 to go up and up. Take them all. Otherwise, Shane could be mad. Right? You got to carry them again. So that's what we're trying to do. This here, I'm going to walk you through this tonight, and it's for me, it's very simple. It's really simple. I'm going to walk you through, and I'm going to bring you over there. And I hope you understand. So what we have is the Sabbatical and Jubilee Cycle. If you want to understand prophecy, you have to understand them. A lot of people think they know prophecy, but they're just guessing. They're guessing. The rapture can be today. No, it can't. It is impossible for the rapture to be today. It's impossible for the rapture to be tomorrow, or this month, or this fall. It's impossible for the rapture to be next spring, next year. How do I know that? Because I know this. No more guessing. I know when that's going to take place. And so can you. So that takes all this. You got to repent today or you're going to die. No. God's giving you a chance to recover, to repent. It's a process. So we're going to start here at the very beginning. And I'm going to show you how I learned this. So right down here, you come up and see this out. So we're not, he's not going to zoom in. You guys watch on YouTube, get the charts. We're going to start down here at year 1. All the chronologists, starting, where is it? That's 700 BC, starting right here. 164, 162 BC to about, 130, 135, 200 AD. That's when a lot of your chronologists figured out the chronology back to Adam, reading Genesis. And that's what happened with the Septuagint. The Septuagint has dates that go back, well, for Julius Africanus, right in here, he said it was 5,000 years before 200 AD. Well, it doesn't work. If he's right, and we're now in the year 7,600 AD, which means we've already passed the 7th millennium, which means where's the Messiah? So the Septuagint is wrong. That's what I'm telling you. Okay? So I did something different. I tried to go back and use all these different guys to figure out the chronology. Basically, all I wanted to know is when the Jubilees were. My pastor didn't know. My friends didn't know. Nobody knew when the Jubilee or Sabbatical year was. So I said, well, why would God give us Leviticus 25 and not tell us when it is? Well, I don't know. So that was the burning question I had. Nobody knew. And then I met Nehemiah Gordon and Michael Rood in 2004, 2005. That went. And I learned that God had a name. Because up until then, he was just God. Capital G. All the other gods were small g. But our God was just God. He's got a name. So at that time, Michael would call him Yahweh. Okay, I didn't know that. Wow, I was excited. And then Nehemiah comes on, he tells me about the barley and the crescent moon to begin the year and the month. Wow, I'm in the Worldwide Church of God. We're keeping the Holy Week. We are the church. We are the only church that's praying God. Same as all you came out of that same church too, right? Whatever church you're in was the only true church. Well, Nehemiah said something, I had a test. Was I going to obey this new understanding, or was I going to continue with my other group? And I didn't know. I said, okay, I'll do both. I don't know which one's right. And then Nehemiah comes on and says, it's going to be 30 days earlier. And I got mad. And I wrote Nehemiah a big hate letter. You know what he was. And I apologized to him so many times since, but I obeyed and kept the first Passover according to the barley and crescent moon. That same Passover day, Jehovah showed me this. He showed me this. He showed me this thing right here. And then once I understood that, I understood this and all of that. Wow, one day. So that's not me being smart, that Jehovah picking a dummy that's going to need a lot of help and showing him this stuff. It is really very simple to understand. But I didn't know how to talk to people I was trying to figure out how to explain this. And it's taken me since 2005, so right over here, just so you can see how long this has taken. It's taken me from 2005, when I first learned this stuff, to figure out how to talk, to finally get out of the program called the Prophecy Club. And then to get another week of Sukkot where a bunch of people let me come and talk, and then they made a bunch of videos. And then I got told by a friend, we got to put all this information into a book. I didn't know how to write a book. I got 45% all through high school. I only got out of high school because they didn't want me to come back. So I wrote a book. Then I wrote another one because nobody understood what I said here. I wrote another one for that one when the fall took fall, and did a video teaching on each portion of this teaching. And then from there to here, I've had to figure out how to take a 40-hour teaching and convince the audience to an hour. I still can't do it. So this teaching tonight is about 6 hours long. So yeah, it's good thing you don't have to walk for it. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So let me just, now that I've shown you how long it's taken me to learn this, let's just do it real simple. Adam and Eve is created, year one. So if you got your charts, it's at the very back, the very second last page, bottom of the green. So here's the green section right here. Last page, Adam and Eve are created, year one. So Leviticus 25 says, every 7th year you shall keep a sabbatical year. And can you see that? Okay, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, you'll see that. Okay. Every 7th year is a sabbatical year. So I just start counting 7. Now, if they take all the kids away, I can use the kids help me count 7 to show you adults how to count to 7. But you just count to 7 and you do it 7 times. And that's a Jubilee cycle. But wait, is a Jubilee cycle 7 sevens? Is it 49 or is it 50? That was the debate. Well, I figured, well, God's going to show me somehow. So I counted 49s, and then I did another chart, and I counted 50s. And I just did this on Excel. You can do it on Excel. Make one chart using 49s. The 50th year will also be the first year in the next count. But also make another one, make it 50, and then the 51st year, the first year in the next count. Prove it. Once you've proven this, this will be yours. It's no longer mine. And many of you already know this because it's now yours. Like Glenn, this is his. He's teaching us, doesn't even mention Joe anymore.
It's mine.
It's mine. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's Torah. It isn't Joe Dumont's secret teaching. It's God's teaching. Okay, so I've now done the homework. I know which one works and which one doesn't, but you need to do it. So it's 49, the 50th year is year 1. There's some, when did they fall out of the garden of Eden? You can figure that out if you understand the basics. So we mentioned it already. In the 50th year, you blow the shofar in the 10th day of atonement, or Day of Atonement. What are you doing? You're returning to your possession. The word possession, look it up in the Hebrew, it means to, not your land, your possession. What is your possession? It's not land. What is your possession? Land.
Your creator.
Your creator is your possession. What did Jacob hang on to? God. When he wrestled with him. What are you wrestling with? The word, the Torah, our creator. When you return to your possession in the 50th year, you're returning to Jehovah. But that ties into Shemini Atzeret. It ties into the last day of the week of Sukkot. It ties into the last day of the 7th day of unleavened bread. And if you don't know the holy days, you're not going to get this. You've got to know the holy days. Because they are the prophetic things that teach you about Jehovah, teach you when he's coming at the end. So, we count 49, and we got Genesis 6:3. I shall not deal with man forever, for his day shall be 120 Shana. That's not how old Moses or Noah is. How many people live to be 120? 121 right now. No, how many people live to be? How many people do you know live to be 120? Nobody. My great grandfather lived to be 104. My his grandson, my dad's uncle, lived to be 102. I could be around a long time, right? Nobody lives now. So it's not talking about average, it's mankind. The word is Adam, is mankind. Will be 120 Shana, 120 cycles of time. The word is cycles of time. So we count, Christians do this all the time. 120 times 50 is 6,000 years, somewhere in there. That's what they do. But when I do it, it's 120 times 49. If you go here, it's 5,880 years. Not 6,000. So now things are going to change. So we count 49, and when you get to the 20th one, that's the end of the first millennial day. Now just imagine Ella doing this with this is what we had for a prop. We had this up on the table that was up this high, but Ella's doing it like this. It's right up there somewhere. Right? We had her at the NRP. God said to Adam, in the day that you eat of this fruit, you will die. He ate of the fruit in the year 50. Okay? That's another lesson another day. Chiastic structure. He died not in the year 50. He died in the year 930. What year is 930? It's the 50th year before the end of the Jubilee Cycle. Chiastic structure. This is Joe's theory. I can't prove that. I believe he ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When he went away from the light, he went away from Jehovah in the 50th year. Okay? He can't win that argument, but it's nice. The day you eat of it, you will die. Jehovah's telling the truth. He's speaking in millennial days. So, okay. So on your charts, everything on this side is counting from Adam. Everything on this side of this green line, or same here, on either side of these lines in the middle, this is counting from Adam. This is counting Gregorian years. And when we get to right here, you'll notice it goes from 1 BC to 1 AD. There is no year zero. There is a year zero when you're using the Julian count. So some computer systems use a Julian count. Torah calendar uses the Julian count. You must be aware of that when you use their methods and you go back in time. It'll be off by 1 year. So there is no year zero. So now, if we do this, we start doing the chronology, Seth is 130, Enoch, all the rest of the patriarchs all the way along, plot them out here and do the chronology. We get to the year of the flood, and nobody ever gets this part wrong. 1656 after creation. Except for the creation museum, which I only noticed on Friday. They have it as 1556. I said, how did you do that? I don't know how they did it, but I got to investigate it now. That's the first time I've seen anyone get this wrong. 1656. So if you find the blue section, I put blue just because that's for Noah's flood. The colors don't mean anything. Green is for the Garden of Eden. Red is because that's the next color I had in my palette. Orange, purple. I like, I'm French. I like colors, right? So the colors don't mean, but there are blocks of colors. In those blocks is a certain thing. And down below, we have all the footnotes, what they represent. So when I did this first, I didn't include the blood moons. Pauline included the blood moons in this family and in those charts. So you notice here, Adam died at 930, and I've gone to Nassau. The 2 years on the high holy day before Adam died, there were blood moons. And what I noticed, that from when all the patriarchs died, almost all of them, there were blood moons just before they died. On the high holy days, 2 to 3 years. Blood moon, we just had one last night, all over the Middle East and Asia. We didn't have it here. A blood moon is generally a warning of something bad or war. It's an old Jewish mythology based on what they've learned by doing this. Okay? So now, how do I know I've got this right? You do the chronology, you end up here with Noah, then you end up here with the birth of Abraham, 1948, after creation. Not 1948, the same year the Jews entered the promised land. There's no relationship there. 1948, after the creation of Adam. So Noah's flood of 1656 is equivalent to 2181 BC. You'll notice that below that, there are blood moons on Passover and Sukkot for 3 years in a row. So in 2014, the big hype was blood moons, Passover, Sukkot, Passover, Sukkot for 4. Well, there's 6 there. I've got a lot of 6s on me. So we keep coming forward, and you can do the chronology all the way down until you get to the promised land. Okay? There are some mistakes that people make in our book. Remember, just about the year 2016, we walked you through all those mistakes. And you end up entering the promised land 2,500 after creation. Pretty cool, right? Except it didn't answer my question. Is it a 50-year Jubilee? The 2,500 divided by 50. Is it a 49? 49 plus 1. It didn't answer my question. Both systems work so far to there. Rabbi Judah in the Mishnah said that the year they entered the promised land was a Jubilee year. One of his students also agreed with him. Then all the other rabbis said, no, that's wrong. So he went with the majority. And he wrote the book, the Mishnah, Rabbi Judah. But he mentioned that he said that. So he couldn't prove it. At that time, Rabbi Judah in the year 200, right in here, has collected the books from Rabbi Akiva, who died in the Bar Kokhba revolt, right in here. Rabbi Akiva realized that since the temple was destroyed in 70 AD, we have not been able to get back there. We're starting to forget all our traditions. That's 50 years later. Rabbi Akiva is collecting all the things that you used to do in the temple, recording them in a book. He then gets killed. His student, Rabbi Josie, who does a chronology all the way back to here, and fudges it so that Rabbi Simon Bar Kokhba is the Messiah. He took off 250 years, changed the dates a little bit to make the first temple destroyed line up with the Daniel 9 prophecy. He becomes good friends and is well respected by Rabbi Judah, who writes the Mishnah. The Mishnah is then used, and then the Jerusalem Talmud and the Babylonian Talmud become vogue. In 300, the Jerusalem Talmud is no longer used because they're now driven out of Jerusalem. The Babylonian Talmud continues to be used until the 6th century, right here. Then it stops. And that's what they're using based on the stuff that Rabbi Judah and Rabbi Yossi wrote. Then this continues down here till we get to Rabbi Maimonides, 1177. I'll come back to him in a bit. But he took all their information, removed all the names of the people who contributed to it, caused a big stink, and he said, well, I'll come back to that. But he created what is called the Mishnah Torah. Now, in between all this, after Rabbi Judah, they are being persecuted until we get to the year 358. Right here. In 358, Hillel creates the Hillel calendar. I'm just giving you a little brief history here so you can see where they all fit in. And he starts changing the dates. He didn't change the dates at all. He created the Hillel calendar, rule number 2, so that the new crescent moon will not be seen in another part of the world before it is seen in Israel. That's his rule. But everyone forgot about that little footnote. And so they went with all the rest. Rule number 3 has got a similar footnote about the crescent moon. That starts here. But that institution never took place until we get up to here, which I'll come back to. So we've got the chronology to here right now. Where's the proof? This is really cool, Joey. Interesting. I'm not falling asleep. Where's the proof? 2 Kings 19:29. 2 Kings 19:29. Where are you? Here you are, right here. 2 Kings 19:29. This year you shall eat what grows of itself. Next year, I cut a little bit. God's talking. This is God talking. He's talking to Hezekiah. Hezekiah is thinking he's about to die. He's about to be killed. There's over 180,000 plus Assyrians surrounding Jerusalem. They just destroyed all of Judea. They just destroyed Lachish. And he just destroyed the Egyptian army that was coming out. Tekakera or something like that. Hezekiah is toast. You've seen Jerusalem. It's not very big. And they got us surrounded. And that guy is outside yelling. Everyone can hear him. What do? I'm about to die. Because I rebelled against this guy, and now I'm about to die. So he sends a letter up saying, surrender, we're going to give you horses. You can flee if you come out. Not flee, you'll come with us. Hezekiah goes to Jehovah and prays. What do? Instead of saying, don't worry about Hezekiah, I will take care of it, they will all be dead in the morning. No, Jehovah says in 2 Kings 19:29, in Isaiah 32, and then 1st or 2nd Chronicles 32, I think it is. This day, you shall eat what grows itself this year. Okay, so stop and think. This year. I mean, I'm going to live a whole year. Then next year, you shall eat what grows of the same. Then in the 3rd year, you will plant and sow and harvest. What did God just say? Why didn't he make it simple? You're going to be okay. I'll take care of it. Boom. No. Who's he talking to? He's not talking to Hezekiah. He's talking to us. Because he knew we would forget. He's giving us a big clue. What's he telling you? This year was the 49th year. The next year is the 50th year. That's the only time when you have back-to-back sabbatical years. And then in the 3rd year, which is 699, I'll show you how to figure that out in a moment, you shall plant and sow and harvest. So here, the creator of the universe has now given you the clue to know when this is, when the sabbatical years are. And He's made it very simple. Because he also at the same time, when Sennacherib went back to Assyria, he went back with his tail between his legs. But he couldn't tell the Assyrians that he got his butt wiped. He went back and he said, it's recorded in your Bible, that he recorded that Hezekiah, I caged him up like a bird, and I made him contribute to me all this gold and silver from the temple. And then he recorded the year. We don't know when that year was, because the problem that we have is the Israelite kings left no markers so that we can determine when they lived. We knew when each one lived in relation to each other, but when they lived in history, we couldn't prove it. We have no markers. So this, in the 1800s, there's a young student, and he's going through the Nineveh records, and he sees that there's an eclipse. And I think the eclipse was in 762 BC or 763 BC, and it's over top of Nineveh. We didn't have NASA then, but he was able to calculate it out. He figured out that the eclipse over NASA or over Nineveh happened in this year 762, and we've got all the Assyrian kings from 967 all the way down to so about 600 BC, somewhere in here. And then Ptolemy is able to trace the kings of these empires from there down to the Roman times. And from the Roman times down to our time, everyone knows that history. But because Sennacherib is now recorded, and we can date that to the year 701 BC. That's huge. God now gave Hezekiah something in your Bible, and he got Sennacherib to record it on a still, or like a monument, that we would find. Not only one monument, he did it on 4. We got all 4 monuments, they all say the same thing. They're called stele, S-T-E-L-E. I'm not sure, is that stele, stele?
So,
Stele? Yeah. But that's recorded. That's now 701 BC. That's the most undisputed date to all chronology. 701 BC. That's the 49th year. That means that the 50th year is 700. With just that one verse alone, you can now count by 7 and hit every sabbatical year going forward and backward in time to our time, which is amazing. And if you know that it's 49, you can also hit every Jubilee year by counting by 49s, which is amazing. That was my discovery, Passover 2005. That same day, I found 11 other Sabbatical and Jubilee years. 11 sabbatical years. We only had the one Jubilee. But I had done the chronology. And I knew that 2500, whether 50 or 49, was a Jubilee. So now I had to match that with this. Trouble was, in between here and Solomon is the Judges. Have you ever read the Judges chronology? Just pull out your hair before you even start. So Adam Clark wrote on the chronology, and this is 1 Kings 6:1, 480 years. So he wrote on that chronology, and the Septuagint says 440. Another source says it's 420. Josephus says it's 592. Everyone else says all 20 people, chronologists, have 20 different dates. There's only 2 that agree on 592. Only one said 480. That's the Masoretic or Masoretic text. Which date is it between here and the 4th year of Solomon building the temple? Nobody knows. Throw a dart, nobody knows. So I don't know. I can't prove it. It's throwing all my numbers out. So I'm going to leave that unknown. I don't know that. What I do know, now that I have 701, I can go from Solomon building the temple, and I know that there are 120 Jubilee years. I've counted to here, I counted 51 Jubilee years from Adam to the entering the promised land. I can count from Solomon, his 4th year. Because of this chronology, we now know when these Israelite kings are. This is only one date. We have one other date that's recorded in the Assyrian tablets. It's the Battle of Karkar in 853 when Ahab is killed. So because of that, we have 2 dates. Now we can line up all the Israelite kings and Jewish kings with a known chronology, and we can put them into our history and know that we got it right. Okay, I know this is all boring stuff, but it's a basic of understanding. So now with this understanding, we can label out this history to our time today. Now, is that the 120th Jubilee? We don't know yet. We have to connect it to this time period here. So you got simple math, A plus B plus X has got to equal 5,880. Simple math. And once you do that, okay, ready? That 480 is now 411. Just by the math alone. I have 120 Jubilee cycles. And I've now got a confirmed date for what's between when they enter the promised land and Solomon's 4th. And I know he just changed the Bible. Oh no! But there are other mistakes in the Bible. Chronology, 2 Kings 17 and 18 got the kings in the wrong order. It's not true. So I'll just, if you believe it's something else, great. Put the 480 in there. Do the chronology again, and you will be, 60 years into the 7th millennium. Well, not in the 7th millennium. Where's the Messiah? So you got to figure out what to do with that 480. I'm telling you the big problem. I don't normally tell you. I need to find a relation. Okay? But here, starting right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Okay, I have 120 Jubilee cycles, all 49 years each. 120 times 49, 5,880. You can count every number on here. There are no mistakes. Our first band had 2 mistakes because we typed them. Nobody caught it, but we caught it this time. So this is the new band number. So now, if I'm right, then in the Stones Cry Out Part 1 and Part 2, which you can all get for free, you should have it. In Part 1, I explained the hello calendar stuff. In Part 2, I gave you all the Jubilee and start of the year dates. So we've got this one. We just told you about this one. We come back down here is the Bar Kokhba revolt. And Simon Bar Kokhba was going to be the Messiah because he's coming into a Jubilee year and he's going to liberate Judah from the Romans in a Jubilee year. That's what it was all about. So because of that, Simon Bar Kokhba starts, Rabbi Akiva starts calling him the son of the morning star, right? Which is a sign of the Messiah. But trouble is he didn't come back to life after they kill him. Okay, small error. But Rabbi Yossi's chronology stuck. Simon Bar Kokhba was out, but Rabbi Yossi, who changed the dates because of the Daniel 9 prophecy, his chronology is now the one that's being used by Judah. That's why we are in the year 5882. One? I don't know what it is, 5880 something, right? No, 5782.
What?
What's the Jewish year?
5784.
5784. Okay. No, it's 5861.
86. It's 5786 and Rosh Hashanah will be 5780. I mean 57.
In 2 weeks it'll be 5786.
86, yes.
That is based on Rabbi Yossi's false teaching. And they've stuck with it. How do we know it's false? Well, Okay, we're gonna jump into that. No, we're not, I gotta come back to that. Let me just explain the Jubilee years first. So we get this one, and it lined up with that one. If I use the 411 years, it lines up with this one. If I use the 480 years, it doesn't line up at all. But then I found these tombstones at the south end of the sea called Zoar. Right? That's these here. So these are two tombstones. We have another tree here to display. Anybody want to feel? Just watch that it doesn't fall in and snap your finger off.
The tombstones. The Zoar tombstone, wasn't Craig the one who brought him up? Tennessee?
Not Craig. Yes, they brought two there.
Yep.
And I checked them live in front of the audience,
Yes,
and I was crazy. Right?
it's an epiphany right there.
Yeah. So in 2013, we have a person in the audience, and his name slips my mind. He's asked me about these tombstones. I don't know anything about them. Never heard of them. He said, well, here's some information. Would you like to check them with your chart? I'm wrong. Right? Sure, come on, bring them on up here. So he does, he brings them up here. And it says, let me see, we got an easy one. Okay, we got an easy one. The tombstones are written in this time period right in here. Right? And they say, this is the tombstone. Well, I got the good one. This is the tombstone of Hannah. So I've got about a dozen of them, and I just grabbed 3 out of the case. This is the tombstone of Hannah, daughter of Haniel, the priest, who died on the Sabbath. That's a Saturday. That's a big clue. Who died on the Sabbath, the first festival of Passover. That's another clue. Passover is on the Sabbath this year. On the 15th day. On the 15th day.
Not the 14th.
Not the 14th. On the Sabbath. On the Passover. On the 15th day of the month of Nisan. In the 5th year of the sabbatical cycle. They're counted by sabbatical cycles. It's the 5th year of the sabbatical cycle. So over here, look. There's the first sabbatical cycle. Here's the second sabbatical cycle. Here's the third. Here's the fourth. She died in the 5th sabbatical cycle. I'm going to find over here. There's the 6th. There's the 7th cycle. They just gave me a huge clue. In the 5th year of the sabbatical cycle, which is the year 369 years after the destruction of the temple. Good, I did the math on here, so I'm not figuring this out. So 369, when's the temple destroyed?
So
No. According to Rabbi Yossi, at the going out of the year, which meant it could be 69. But because we moved the going out of the year to Tishri the year before, it could be 68. Rabbi Yossi's book has caused so much confusion because the going out of the year was the year 70. But the rabbis moved Tishri, they moved back 6 months to start the year. Which meant that Tishri 1 is the start of the year, so the going out of the year has got to be Elul 29. So stop and think. I just told you right there. How can the going out of the year be Elul 29 when the going out of the year is the feast, which we just read yesterday? The feast is the going out of the year. The 7th month is going, but that's the first of the month. It all started right here. Rabbi Yossi's false information. So now, I've done all the work. I've got tons of information. All the Roman historians record the temple being destroyed, and I give you all this information in the Stone's Trail. The emperors of Rome have a distinct chronology. Vespasian came to destroy Jerusalem. And in January of 70 AD, he switches and gives it to his son, Titus. Titus then destroys Jerusalem 6-7 months later. That's Roman. So those people who want to stick to 69 to 70 have no leg to stand on. History records it as 70. So now, go back to the tombstone. 70 plus the year 369 is, come on, math. I got it right here. 439.
Yes.
So you count the year 439, right in here, 439 is the 5th year of the sabbatical cycle. I read that wrong over there. It's the 5th year of the sabbatical cycle. It's not the 5th sabbatical cycle. It's the 5th year of the cycle. There it is, the 5th year of the cycle. This tombstone has now confirmed because 2 years after that is the sabbatical year. Guess what? I had 2 that I did live on stage, and they latched on.
That was.
Yeah, and that was awesome. Now I have 2. Guess what? I now knew that there was more. So I began to find more, and I eventually got 16. And guess what? All 16 proved that the sabbatical year was exactly as I said it was. Then Ella starts to bug me. I need something to do. I need something to do. Can I do something for you? What can I do for you? Go help me. I want to do something. Leave me alone. I'm trying to finish this book. I don't know how to spell it right. Leave me alone. She kept bugging me. Ella, I got this footnote that says there's about 30 tombstones somewhere, and I don't know where this book is. I can't find it. Here, take it. I don't expect to see it for 6 months. 3 weeks later, she comes back with 102 tombstones. 102. Out of those 102, they include all the ones that you can't read, all the ones that don't have a record according to the sabbatical cycle, and the ones that are broke. But we got 102 documents. Then there's some that have dates that just don't make sense. Out of that 102, we got 42 that we can use. Plus, there's about another dozen with sabbatical year dates, which I've now learned could possibly be mistranslated. Because the ones that we did have, that we knew we had 2 or triple of them, it has different translation on. That's why I thought it had 3 tombstones. But when you looked at it properly, they were talking about the same person. And then I realized translators each had a different translation. That's why we got different copies. So this book I got, Eileen and I went looking for the books. Because that footnote that she got had a book with it. So I said, Eileen on it, we'll find me this book. She found it on Amazon. I ordered the book. We've gone through about 5,000 tombstones throughout all of Western Europe. Each one individually, checking each one for a date. The only ones that give us dates are the tombstones of Zoar, south of the Dead Sea. But we've also got the mistakes that the translators, which means that in the Stones Cry Out book, I've included the mistakes, or the ones that don't fit. I didn't toss them out because they didn't fit my chronology. I put them in there in the hopes that in the future, when a better translation comes, or a better machine to decipher the lettering on the tombstone, because it's very faint, it's easy to get wrong. And we'll get more dates. So right now I got 42 tombstones. You can disagree with me on all of this. I don't care. You can disagree with me about this and the 411 years. I don't care. I got 42 tombstones here that you got to prove wrong. From dead people who were Jewish and recorded it. What's more? Where's Zoar? The Sabbatical and Jubilee years are only to be kept in the land of Israel. They're not to be kept out here. Hogwash. All 42 tombstones, all 42 tombstones are in Jordan. This one here is in Lebanon. Lebanon could have been the land of Israel, but it wasn't then. Jordan wasn't the land of Israel. That was the land of Edom. It was negligent. The Sabbatical and Jubilee years are to be kept everywhere around the world because the world is God's footstool. Okay? So I got 42 tombstones, but before I had the tombstone, I had 12 other dates. Each of those dates lined up with 701 BC. The Jubilee years lined up. Out of the tombstone, I got another tombstone in here for a Jubilee year right here, 477. I've got 4 Jubilee years, and they all match when you count by 49. I've got 68 proofs altogether that are concrete. No, 68 out of over 42 tombstones out of 102. 68 proofs from archaeology, history, and the Bible. Because the Bible has other dates in there. You just have to figure out the chronology. I'm not going to do that with you. You've got the Stone's Cradle, read it. It's all there. You can now prove this. Okay? Is there any questions about this one? Because this is step 1.
You didn't mention that discussion you had with Nehemiah with, what did I guess, grandma?
Ah, yes, thank you. That's right. Okay, so Nehemiah Gordon, I'm going on. So he talked with Michael Root, talked with Cash. Nobody can know when the Sabbatical years are. I said, Nehemiah, I told you when they are. I've met with you. I've shown you. How come you don't have me on your podcast? Why would you invite me on Michael Root show? Let me show you when this stuff is. Michael Root doesn't like it. I don't know what I've done to really offend, but he won't have me on the show. Like, what can you not like? Come on. Right? So Nehemiah, I'm doing a podcast with my daughter's with this 2018. My daughter's with me in Jerusalem. First time we got family members with me. Look at this. Do you want to know what makes that tick? Why does he have to keep coming back here? I can't get enough of that. Next, I just can't get enough of it. Nehemiah said, here's I'm in Jerusalem. So why don't you come over? I said, we talked about the Jubilee Cycle. I brought everything with me. Yep, let's go. Let's do a podcast. I get over there. Sure enough, my notes get all mixed up. It's a mess. Live on his radio podcast. And he says, have you heard of Rambam? Yeah, I know what Rambam is. He talked about the Jubilee year? Really? Yeah. He tells us exactly what it was. You want to do it live on the radio? Trap. Nehemiah, just trap. I'm about to be exposed. Because he thinks he's got it. Rambam, right here, wrote the Mishnah Torah. Okay, so that's a compilation of the Jerusalem Talmud, or the Jerusalem Talmud, the Babylon Talmud, and the Mishnah. He's compiled them all into one big encyclopedia set, the Mishnah Torah. He's taken out the names. He did a big stink. Everyone hates them because they removed the authors who gave all these different clues. Then, after he writes the Mishnah Torah, he edits it himself. Then he dates it and he signs his name to it that he has now edited and approved this massive encyclopedia set. Like, the guy's brilliant. I may not agree with him. He's brilliant. It's an encyclopedia. You've seen the Mishnah Torah, right? It's not one book. It's like Britannica in Judaica, in Hebrew, and Spanish, and whatever language he's using. It's brilliant. He said, the question is asked, when is the sabbatical year? He says, we Jews keep the sabbatical year a year and a half. No, that's not right. The sabbatical year is the last year, but we Jews by tradition keep it a year and a half before. He said that in 1177. The year before that he's confirming as a sabbatical year is the year 1176, exactly as I had said. The year before that is 1175, which is still the same thing today. They keep the sabbatical year 1 year before I do, because of Tishri and because of Rabbi Yossi. Right there, live on the radio, my good friend, Daniel Gordon, just proved me right. And you can't see it because it's rated down. Yes, he just confirmed. And then the hanger said, what? I said, you just confirmed it. No, wait, what? And he's doing his math all again, doing it 3 times. He does the math really different the way I do it. But no. Oh, and then he says, and then if you're listening, I love you. But then you said, oh, you're going by 70 AD. It was 69. Okay, so this is a negative order, the carrier, the literalist. He's now using a Pharisee or scriptures. He's a scripture-only guy. But now his bailout is Rabbi Yossi in the Mishnah, which he doesn't believe in. Anyway, I hope you hear it, Amy. I love you. Come on, we got to do another one. Then last year, while we're here, staying at the Leeds house, Field's house, he says, Joe, I had a dream about you. I says, okay, what's the matter with you? He said, God told me that I have to help you. God, how do you know it was God? I know it was God. Jehovah told me I have to help you. What can I do? He says, do you want to do a podcast? If Jehovah's telling you to help you, I can't say no. Right? Maybe we'll do a podcast. So we'll do a podcast here. And he still hasn't. So at the NRB, he came out and he sees this. He's looking at it, he's kind of impressed, but he knows he's still hung up about 69 or 68. And then he sees this. And he stopped him dead in his tracks. And we make an interview about that. He said, I want to know how you knew about that at that date. That's okay. Well, let's start back here at that. No. So now with this, we got to come back here. I said that this was the 50th or 51st Jubilee cycle since the creation of man was 2500 when they entered the promised land. Right? So you'll notice starting here, we've got numbers in the middle. You've all got them in your charts. The numbers are bigger. That's because we're starting to do another count. In 164 BC, right here, the Hasmoneans recorded a sabbatical year there and there. And then we got the kings here, a bunch of stuff here. All these sabbatical years line up with that. But they begin to use the Daniel 9 or prophecy, 490 years to the Messiah. John Hyrcanus was a Messiah. And they used that prophecy to prove that he's a Messiah. When they did that, the Assyrians left about 162 BC to go to Qumran. They did not go to Qumran at this time. They were there at this time. The evil king that the Assyrians write about is John Hyrcanus. Every detail is John Hyrcanus. The king of righteousness is the self-appointed heretic, the Assyrians. Because John Hyrcanus did something. He tore down the temple. He tore down the Akron. He tore it down in Isaiah 25 to the very dust. And you can still see that today. There's a bedrock in the city of David, which is where the Akron used to stand. And it took them 3 days, day and night. It's written in Isaiah, Isaiah. 3 days, day and night to move all the dirt from there up to what is now called Zion, or outside Zion's gate. And they made the lower city, which is where Zion's gate was, it was the lower city, the upper city, and then they made the upper city the lower city. That bald spot, where I take everybody on my tour, we'll see some bedrock. And I explain this. And then you can see the stairs that are cut in. That's what John Hyrcanus did in 164 BC or 162 BC. But the Daniel 9 prophecy didn't work out. So the next people to use the Daniel 9 prophecy was Rabbi Akiva, with Rabbi Yossi's help to rewrite history, to make the fudge the dates when the temple was destroyed, the first and second, to make Simon Bar Kokhba the Messiah. He didn't work out. but they kept that chronology. Notice in between 164 and 133 AD are the apostles and Yeshua. Not one of them used the Daniel hypothesis to prove that Jesus was the Messiah.
Like no sense.
Why? If you're going to prove he's a Messiah, there it is, Daniel 9, boom. But not one of them did. So, in order to prove that the Daniel 9 prophecy is about the Messiah, the church fathers, after Simon Bar, Rabbi Akiva, 133, 180, Oriental, the church fathers begin to use, but they couldn't figure it out. It was Julius Africanus in 202 AD who figured it out, and he made the Persian kings, which Josie, shortened by 250 years, made Ahasuerus 453, right in here. Ahasuerus was the one that gave Daniel, Nehemiah, and Ezra permission to go build the temple. Or, depending on what church you go to, it could be Cyrus, or Xerxes, or somebody else. But it's somebody in there telling Jews to go back and build the temple. And then they count 483 years to the time the Messiah is killed in 30 or 31 or 32 or 33 or 34 or 36, depending on which theology you subscribe to. Depending on which year you subscribe to these guys. Trouble is, it just doesn't work. And John McCain, I love John McCain, he recently died. He had this number system when you count numbers of days and 360, 390, and then like math coming out of your wazoo. It didn't make any sense at all. I'm looking at this now. Yeah. Let's go back to the Hebrew. And the Hebrew says, Daniel 9, 70 weeks are decreed for your people. Okay, what's the word weeks? Shabuah. You've been reading your notes. Shabuah. What's a Shabuah? No, it's not a week. Every time Daniel speaks of the Feast of Weeks, or the word Shabuah, it's the Feast of Weeks. The Feast of Weeks is called Shabuot. Shabuah, now I always have trouble with it, maybe it's corrected me 3 times, I still don't know if I got it right. Shabuah is the masculine singular of the feminine plural, Shabuot. Did I get it right? No, you're not ahead of the clock. Okay. Okay. Shavuot. What is Shavuot? 49 plus 1. Sunday. You start from the Sunday after the week during the after the Sabbath, during the day of unleavened bread. You count 49 days, 7 Sabbaths, and the morrow after the 7th Sabbath is the 50th day. The morrow after the 7th year, the year after the 7th year is the same as the Shavuot count. The first year is the first day of the week, or like the first day. So Daniel's talking about Shavuot, 70 Shavuot, 70, 49. Could he be talking about Jubilee cycles? Again, this is 2005. Nothing has changed here except Pauline adding the blood moons. Nothing has changed on this chart and adding the updated numbers that we got, or dates that we got. Nothing has changed on this chart. Is he talking about 70 Jubilee cycles? No. I'm not a pastor. I shouldn't come back. But let's just check. From the going forth of the command. Well, if we start here in 453, that don't make any sense either. What's the going forth of the command? What? Who? Nehemiah? Moses.
Burning bush.
As the burning bush was told to go and get my people 7 times. Exodus 3, Exodus 4. 7 times Jehovah told Moses, go and get my people. Moses said, I can't talk. I'm not supposed to be here. I mumble. You already told me I can't speak English, right? I'm not supposed to be doing it. Moses was doing the same thing. Go and get my people. Get somebody else. Get Glenn to do it. No, I want you to do it. 7 times. So if that's right, then it says, verse 25. From the going forth of the command to go and get my people at the burning bush, and we now got this chronology, 7 Jubilee cycles, or 7 Shabbat, 7 weeks, and then 62 weeks. 7 and 62, 7 and 62. So all Christian apologetics say that's 62 weeks, and then the last 7 years of the tribulation. That's what that means. They just flip it around, just like that, and destroy the prophecy. It doesn't say that. It says 7 first. From the going forth of the command until Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks, 7 Shabbat. So Messiah the Prince is Jesus. So it's got to be about Jesus. So we got to figure it out from the Persian. No. Aaron, are you baptized?
Yes,
Have you mikvah?
yes.
Have you been anointed?
Depends on what you mean by that.
Did you put anointing oil on?
During the mikvah?
Anytime.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's solve that problem right now. I'm now going to anoint you and mikvah you at the same time. With the lids on. Okay? You're now anointed.
Okay.
What does that mean?
It's- I-
You're in
What did he say?
You're in
He's the Messiah. Now, is it Donna? Is it Donna? What's your name? Donna.
You
That's
lost
all you have to
your
take, yeah. I'm gonna take the lid off and they're really bad to get. I hope it was on.
You lost your.
Okay. You're now anointed. I mean, this is all anointing. You're now anointed. You're the Messiah.
It's not following you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was told not to come this way.
Ah.
So you give me the eye. Yeah, okay. So Donna is now the anointed. Aaron is the anointed. They're both Mashiach, which is the Hebrew word for anointed. They're both the Messiah.
Hummus.
The Messiah. The anointed. Right? Why aren't you bowing down? They're the Messiah. So what does anointed mean? It just means anointed. Who is the anointed one? 7 Shabbat until Messiah, the Prince, until the anointed Prince. The capital M and the capital P is done by the translator to help you believe it's Yeshua. But there are no capitals in Hebrew. It's Mashiach, the prince that is Mashiach, the prince that is anointed. Who is anointed in Israel? The high priest,
Aaron.
Aaron, and the king, the Nagid. So, if this is talking about 7 Jubilee cycles, then we should see Messiah the Prince. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's the birth of King David in 1040 BC. Now he ain't anointed yet, he's just born. But he's anointed here in this purple area at some time, we don't know when, as a shepherd boy by Samuel. Then Judah elects him as makes him king in 1010 BC. Then all of Israel in 1003 BC. King David is our Messiah, our anointed prince. Because Yeshua is my king, not my prince. Mind you, there's a couple scriptures that I've been corrected on that. But, so is that right? Then it says 62 weeks. Right? From Messiah the Prince should be 7 weeks and 62. So now we start counting again from the burning bush to going forth of the command. 7 and 62 is, how much, Aaron?
Oh boy, 69.
Yes,
All right.
good guess. 69 Jubilee cycles, which brings us to the year 1996. Now the Daniel prophecy is talking about us. Who are us? What is the apple of Jehovah's eye? Israel. Israel is the anointed. We can argue that it's David still. We can make that point too. But Israel is the anointed. And it says in the next verse, Then in the 70th Shabbat, the 70th Jubilee Cycle. So let me come over to this one now. Hold on. Okay, can we just grab that there for me? Yeah. You want to lift that up over the phone? Yep, yep, just pick it up. There you go. It won't come. Okay. So this 70th week right here is now this one right here. It's the same thing. It just made it bigger for all you old parts of Kansas. Okay. So in the 70th week is also the 120th Jubilee since the creation of Adam. The 70th week is 120th Jubilee. And Daniel then says in the midst of the 70th week, the midst is the middle. It says Israel will be cut off and be as if they never were. So I thought it was saying at that time they would be cut off. But something happened in 2020. The world changed. Now, did I say that this little wee incident would be in the corner of the world that nobody would see? Or did Jehovah say, look what I just did? In the midst of this Jubilee cycle, Israel will be cut off and be as if they never were. It started here. COVID started here. Sightedmoon.com, if we've been talking about this since 2005, this has never changed. 2020 has always been yellow. It's always been highlighted. I thought Israel was going to be cut off. That's the start. You all know what happened in 2020. I don't need to explain it. Prophecy now became real. All of this other stuff is to show you this in the Daniel 9 prophecy. The announcement was made on March 11th, the day that we were going to be in October. And I thought, this is the day to start counting from. Because it says from the time the daily was taken away. So now I'm talking about this in 2005. I'm talking about terror here, extreme weather, pestilence, famine, and sword. And I'm talking about famine in this one. Those haven't changed. That's all Leviticus 26. And guess who I'm fighting all the time about this? Brethren. Torah observant brethren. 2020, March 11th, who announces COVID as a pandemic worldwide? What happened? We all went into a lockdown, except your particular church, the one you're in. Mm-hmm. The whole world went into lockdown. Every church, every synagogue, every temple, every atheist, everybody. So I started counting from September 11th, 2020. No, March 11th, 2020. And it says in Daniel 12, verse 11, from the time the daily is taken away. That's what that means. There's no temple. So I'm looking at Daniel 12 in 2021. 2020 is now history. The whole world knows what happened. This isn't me making it up. Sighted Moon did not shut down. I may not get all the little details right, but I got the overall plan right. 2021, what happened? Oh, the bullets of your lips got shut down. No churches, no corporate prayer. Nobody's praying. Maybe in their homes, but no corporate prayer. I'm still thinking March 11th. Daniel 9 or Daniel 12 says, from the time the daily is taken away, Hosea 14:2, the bullets of your lips, because there is no temple, the bullets of your lips was taken away. Corporately. Daniel 12, verse 11. From the time the daily is taken away, 1,290 days until the abomination is set up. Mm-hmm. If I'm understanding this right, and many of you heard me explain this and try and figure this out, if I'm understanding this right, then that means from March 11th, 1,290 days later will bring us to September 22nd, 2023, and that's when the abomination will be set up. So I do a tour of Israel. I bring a bunch of people that I show them. And Shane is running all over this place that we know as a holy place. It's Golgotha. Golgotha is a holy place. And we find a shrine being built. It's just been built. It's still got the forms inside. It's a shrine to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Of course. And it's like, because I also believe the ark is over here and they're building the shrine about maybe 100, 200 feet away. And that's the mountain that's going to split in half, separating the whole and say, I figured it all out. I got it. September 22nd. I'm watching. Shane's got a zoom camera, trying to see if we can zoom in on it. He's now gone. I'm watching. I'm going there 3 times a day. That's, up this run. Go back. Up again. No abominations. September 23rd. September 24th, 23rd, 26th, 27th, 28th. I got it wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. September 10th. So my tour group just left. September 10th. I go to see, September 9th, I go to see Yehuda Glick. He's the one that was almost assassinated and now working in the Knesset. He got my book, The 2000 Days of Hell. I gave it to him personally, signed it. He started reading it and then he got almost assassinated. So he didn't finish the book. I went to him. I told him, something is about to happen. Or no, something is about to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's a surprise attack. It's about to take place. You got to tell somebody. Here's the door, Joe. Nice meeting you. I said, Yehuda, you read my book. You know about 2020. He acknowledged that. But I was just a Christian fruitcake. So I didn't know what to do. But I know something's about to happen. I write the Prime Minister Netanyahu. And I told him. And I write the Chief Rabbi. And I told them. And then Keith Johnson heard that I was writing and talking to Netanyahu. Or I was talking, I wrote to him. And I talked to Yehuda Glick. And he's really disappointed. He thinks I'm dropping my noggin. He said, Joe, you sound like a nut. And I agree. I know. But Keith, that's what I'm seeing. I gotta tell somebody. So he even met with me. He said, Joe, you're crazy. That was just before October 1st. Nehemiah Gordon, Keith tells Nehemiah Joshua, you need to talk to him. He's talking like a nut. He's calling the Prime Minister. He's just making us all embarrassed. Then he said, you want to go for a Sabbath meal? We'll do an interview. Yeah, sure. So he takes me out to his sister's place and I'm going for a walk, just about Sabbath, just about the beginning. And all of a sudden he whips out his phone and starts talking to me. But this is the interview. We're walking and we're talking. Oh, there's a couple dogs there. Oh, look at the dogs. And this is the interview. And I tell him, I'm here looking for the abomination. And I expect it to be September 22nd. I got 3 more days to look for it. And I don't know when it's going to be. My last day is going to be September 10th. Or October 10th. That's the last thing that I can make anything work with. So I'm telling you, I didn't know. But I knew I was close. So that was October 1st for Nehemiah. And then the next week, 1 week later, they attacked on October 7th. On October 7th, at the place where I thought the abomination was going to be set up, they had the bishops, they had the cardinals, and they had a string of priests. And this is it. They're about to set it up. So I go running up the hill again. And like I'm parked in the Panorama Hotel. I'm overlooking the site. I'm spying out the window all day long. I'm just sitting there like this, waiting in the boat. And the Arabs are thinking, this guy's not, why didn't he go up touring? I'm watching. Nobody else is watching. If this happens, nobody sees it. How's God going to make it one? No. It's stupid, okay? There's one road going down this place, and it's jammed full of cars. You can't even get between the cars. They are so tight. How am I ever going to flee from here? But you said, if you see the abomination, you got to flee. What about my luggage? My luggage, can I just grab it on the way by and run up? How do I do this? Do I leave it on the front step, run it on the way by? How am I gonna do it? I'm worried about my underwear. My dirty socks. How am I gonna do this? Well, Saturday morning, October 7th, they're going out. And it's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I go running up the hill and then the sirens go off. They go off down by Riera in the morning, but they didn't go off in Jerusalem a little bit later. So I go running up. Okay, I go back, they go back. I'm sitting upstairs again watching. Okay, sirens stop, they went out. Sirens are gonna be off in 5 minutes, right? That's what normally happens. They start going out. Bishops, cardinals, priests, I'm running up the hill. More time. They turn around, go back in. Okay, I go back down the hill. I did this 4 times. And finally, they stopped coming out. But this now, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and the sirens haven't stopped in Jerusalem. What's going on? This is weird. Hamas fired 5 o'clock, and then that's it. Nobody got done. October 6th, 2023 was 1,290 days precisely from the time that Prime Minister Netanyahu locked down Israel. How come I didn't see that? I didn't. So I'm now ticked off. I don't know that big yet. I haven't figured that out. I'm down in the Kippur Valley. The rocket's blowing up overhead, and I can just watch it. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I told you he didn't pick the smart one, right? I go back up to my room. I'm trying to figure what's going on, and the curtain from the concussion is going like this. Not the wind, the concussion is blowing my curtain. And wow, that's weird. There's gunfights outside. There's gunfights in the town behind me. I go down to Kippur Valley. I'm mad. God. Where's the abomination? I don't care about the rest. Where's the abomination? And I'm sitting in the kitchen valley. If you know the stairs going down, I'm right there. I'm looking in front of David's son, tomb. What's his name? Who?
Solomon?
Not Solomon, David's tomb.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Absalom. And I'm just sitting there saying, I'm such an idiot. I don't know anything. I'm the wrap up saying, this is stupid. I've been here wasting all this time. I'm gonna go home with my tail between my legs, and my wife tell me, hold yourself, hold yourself. So I go back up to my room, I start reading my emails. Then I start to hear about the slaughter going on in video. The 340 Israeli soldiers killed in the bed. The slaughter at the dance festival. Then I get mad at God again. I'm having a mad fest with God this time. How can you let 300, I don't know how many people, 1,251 people killed that day. 340 teenagers, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, slaughtered in the street. Young girls, young boys, just starting to like kill, boom, just like that. We're hearing all these rumors. They're invading. They keep coming in further and further in line. What is going on? Where are you, God? What are you doing? And I'm getting mad. But I don't know what's going on. I'm just hearing these rumors because the rumors get worse and worse and worse as the day went on. At 7 o'clock Saturday night, somebody sent me a video of the Nova Fest. You see this young lady. She's famous. She survived. A lot of them are being picked off. I know where that field is. I know exactly where that field is. But then I looked at the video again. At the beginning of the video is Buddha. And I started to cry. And now I know where God was. Same place he was for the golden calf altar. He was pissed off at Israel. They were dancing around this. It wasn't Shimini Atzeret. You're to worship Jehovah. They were not worshiping Jehovah. They were on a drug, hallucinatory, what do you call it? Rave. around that. That was on the video for about a minute. And then the rest of the video showing the people being shot, being butchered. The concession booths were all hit, slaughtered like dogs. I've been there 3 times, now, 2 times, 3 times now. Your heart breaks. Because they came in like a pincer movie. There was no place for them to flee. Behind you here is the Gaza fence, maybe a half mile away. There's one road going both ways. All the cars are parked here in the ditch and on the highway. You gotta run across the road to get into the potato field, and then you gotta run through the potatoes, with dirt like that. You can't run with that. They just picked them all up. Where are you, God? Let Buddha save you. Let Buddha save you. You want to worship him? Go and let him save you. Took me a while to figure that out. Exactly 1,293 days after Prime Minister Netanyahu locked down Israel on March 25th, 2020. Worst day ever. Then I started being told by Batman, Mike, he's saying, well, if that's right, Joe, then the 1335 days, the very next verse should be November 21. I said, no, it's sequential. It's not at the same time. He said, I think it might be at the same time. I said, no, it's sequential. It's one after another. And I argued. Well, 1335 days later, on November 21st, the blessed are those who wait till that day, right? That was the first agreement for the hostages. Then 2 days later, they got 80 hostages up. I've now got 2 dates confirming the lockdown as the start of the count. So Jehovah showed me Daniel 9 and said, focus on 2020. When we get to 2020, not, COVID happened. Okay, something big happened. I don't know when exactly where it started. I thought it was Shavuot. He showed me, I thought it was then March 11th, then it's March 25th. I now got a place to start my countdown to here. He confirmed that by the events here. But then, Daniel 8, it says, from the time that the day is taken away shall be 2,300 evenings and mornings. Then, what happens? 2,300 evenings and mornings brings you to July 12, 2026. That's next year. What is going to happen? It says in Daniel 8, then the saints will be, one version, vindicated. What does vindicated mean? I thought it meant revenge. No. You read another version, it says they're cleansed. You look up the Hebrew, it says cleansed. The saints will be cleansed July 12th, 2026. How do you cleanse the saints, Aaron?
Oil.
No, that's a mikvah, or that's an anointing. How do you cleanse? A mikvah.
Water.
Mikvah, okay? What does that not cleanse you of? No, it cleanses you of sin. Okay, go. What does it not cleanse you of?
Touching a dead body.
Touching a dead body.
Oh.
Anyone who has touched a dead body can only be cleansed by what? Red heifers. Right? So, this is 2025, July 8th, I think it is. They sacrificed a red heifer. Shane, Randy, and I went and seen the red heifers in 24. We see them in 25. They're still there. There's 5 of them. 2 of them were disqualified. That's because Randy looked down across it. Shane, your phone's there. There's nothing going on.
You're saying,
Is it still moving?
no, you're in the business.
Okay. It's anyway, the light's not on. They sacrificed a heifer on July 18th. Did I put my hand up before? So we have to go back an hour and do this over again? Okay. So this July, they sacrificed 1 red heifer. Everyone gets excited. No, it's a practice run. It's a discarded red heifer, disqualified. Okay. Then on August 11th, so today's date is September 9th, 1 month ago, August 11th, they say that all the rest of the red heifers are disqualified. What? We had 3, now they're all disqualified? Was that one the real one? Are they trying to fool us?
Yes.
Are they trying to avoid another Hamas incident? Because once they have a red heifer, what will happen? Once they sacrifice the red heifer, what happens?
Build the temple.
They're going to tear down the Dome of the Rock to build the temple. What will happen then? With who? Hamas? Iran?
Islam.
All of them. All of them. They were able to get by on a 7-front war with the opponent's help. Beavergate was brilliant. The walkie-talkie, and Netanyahu watching, Nasrallah watching Netanyahu at the UN. Netanyahu going,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Sad.
Same thing today. So I don't know if you heard today, they attacked Dohar today. Israel attacked Dohar and killed all the head of Hamas. All those big fat negotiators that won't let the hostages go, they're all dead. Whoa!
Woo!
Now we're not 100% sure they're all dead, but if that happens, then Israel also destroyed all the high towers in Gaza City today. Which means the war could be over if Gaza City will capitulate within the next few days or weeks.
The audience with the blood blue.
Yeah, but blood moves against Israel. We have a thing that we've noticed starting here, actually starting here. 50 days after we keep the Feast of Trumpets, we're a month early or 2 months early, depending on which calendar we're using. When we do it according to Barley Crescent Moon, 50 days later after the Feast of Trumpets, something big happens there. This was 50 days. The 50 days here was Beavergate. So Beavergate happened about a week before, then the 50 days, and then about a week after with Nazareth. So we're kind of being loose with that 50 days. 50 days this year, it could be the fall of Gaza. Then I don't know what that means. I'm seeing another pattern. 50 days after we keep trumpets. So 2026, open up your Bible. You got your Bible? You need to read this. You won't believe me. This is unbelievable. We just said Daniel 8, he will cleanse the saints. It says the sanctuary will be cleansed. The word sanctuary can also be saints. The saints will be cleansed. The only thing that cleanses the saint is a red heifer. Now, I want you to go to Malachi 3, verse 2. One of you to read. Who wants to read? Who's got it? Go ahead, Nick. You got it. Here, come over by my mic. Yeah, is it English?
Yeah.
Okay.
But who will be able to endure it when he comes?
When who comes? Who's coming? The Messiah.
Who will be able to stand and face him when he appears? For he will be like a blazing fire that refines metal, or like a strong soap that bleaches clothes.
What is the soap doing? It's cleansing you. What's the refiner's fire? In the dross of the temple, what do you have to drink? It takes the dross out, and the dross comes out when the refiner can see his face in the silver. That's the Messiah. Okay? Okay, read the next verse.
He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver.
How do you purify the Levites? With a red heifer. Keep going.
Then Jehovah will have men who will bring offerings in righteousness.
When can the Levites bring offerings to Jehovah? Not until they are cleansed so that they can serve the temple. Now read the rest of that.
And the offerings of Judah and Jerusalem will be acceptable to Jehovah
Go ahead, finish.
as in days gone by, as in former years.
That will only happen when they are cleansed and acceptable to Jehovah. Is that gonna be July 12th, 2026? Okay, so now. That's the process revolving around this date. So the other thing I did back in 2005 is I said that how do the fall holy days line up to the coming of the Messiah? I know this is the 120th Jubilee cycle. I now know this is the Daniel 70 weeks or 70 Shabbat. How do the fall holy days line up? So prophecy like a different year. So I said the Jubilee cycle is like shimmy onto that. So I make the Jubilee year, which it's right here. Right? I make that like shimmy onto that. And then I count back 7 days for the week of Sukkot, which is right here. A day for a year. And so this is the first day of the holy days. And then 5 days before that is or 5 years, is the Day of Atonement. And then 10 days before that is the Feast of Trumpets. Okay? Now, if you understand the holy days, you're going to see a major problem right now. Feast of Trumpets represent the time when the Messiah comes. That's what the Feast of Trumpets is all about. That's the day he's born on, that day he's going to come back on. Except the Feast of Trumpets is now history. Where's the Messiah? So people are starting to call me a heretic now because I say this. And I'll let them say it. I'm going to tell you what I see. I'm not going to tell you what I think, because I think I'm nuts. Oh, that was my outside voice. Where's the Messiah in 2024? Thief in the night. So it says in Matthew 24, you'll see him come from the east with lightning and lightning bolts. Everyone's going to see him. No eye will. Yeah, everyone will see him. Where's that? That's not here. Where did that happen? In the Philippines, there's Quibulo. He's a Messiah. There's a Messiah in Ukraine. There's one in South Korea. There's one in England. I don't know if there's one in Kentucky yet. Oh, we got an anointed man. But there are at least 4 Messiahs already here, but none of them are the Messiah. This is talking about the thief in the night. And the thief in the night does not come where everyone sees him. He comes in unannounced to find out who's working, which is why I picked up my game, and who's asleep. Like many of the pastors in the churches. Is that done? I don't know, it's acting weird. Okay. As soon as I say praise, it stopped working. I'm saying, just to be clear, the Messiah is here. He's already come. We haven't seen him. What does he do to those who aren't asleep? He lights them on fire. What's been happening around the world with fires? I don't know. I'm expecting Messiah, based on the scriptures that we just read, on July 12th, 2026, to kill the red heifer. Rambam says that the Messiah will kill the 10th red heifer. If my understanding, I didn't realize that until I did the Philippine tour this last month, or in May. Somebody kept asking about the thief in the night. I didn't get it. Then Jehovah woke me up and said, "You're an idiot. Look at this again." Oh, man. The 10 days of awe are here. This is when Satan will be locked away. Why do I know that? Because I've seen a similar pattern. This is the time of Noah. Remember Noah right here? 1656? 1656. This is Noah's Jubilee cycle. In the 4th year of the 6th sabbatical cycle, the flood came. What is the flood? It's judgment on the world. Then, as Luke says, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the last days. As it was in the days of Lot, so shall it be in the last days. What were they doing? Well, they were eating. You guys had a big meal today. It was an awesome meal, ladies. You're killing me. It's mean I'm going home 50 pounds heavy. Awesome, thank you. Desserts are killing me, they're great, keep them coming. They ate, they drank, they got married, they did business. Y'all done that. You are all evil. Or is that really what it's saying? What is it telling you? It's not talking about the people. He's again telling you, look at the pattern of the Jubilee cycle, because in the third year, the year before Isaac was born, in the third year, Sodom and Gomorrah is destroyed. That was at Passover. That's at the second Passover, the 17th of the second month. In between that Passover and this Passover is what? The Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement is 7 or 6 months after this one. But then I noticed something else. This is the 7 years of plenty for Joseph and the 7 years of famine. And they end, judgment ended in the third year of the 6th Sabbatical cycle. And that lines up with the holy days that I've got here, which represent the Day of Atonement, which is when Satan will be locked away and thrown in the pit at the end of the 6th millennial day. That means, if that's correct, at the end of the Great Tribulation, and I want you to get the books, I shouldn't tell you this, but at the end of the Great Tribulation, 2033, that's when the innumerable multitude comes back and they are raised as saints at Shavuot, 4 months before Atonement, and they meet Yeshua in the sky. 3.5 years before that is the tribulation, brings you to 2030 Passover. 3.5 years before that brings you to 2026, and that's when the two witnesses start their work. That's 1 year from today. 1 year from this fall. Not July 12th. July 12th is in the summertime. They are 3.5 years from Passover, so sometime around the fall feast. You see how it's all fitting together? Can I get a tissue paper? Go ahead, Linda.
Well, the first, second, no, well, first, third, and fourth are all the third year.
The
But
first,
no,
third, and fourth what?
Why is Noah's, why did you think that the final judgment on earth would be on the third year?
So this is Passover. Okay, this is Passover, the second Passover when the flood took place, the 17th of the second month. That's when the flood took place. Okay,
On when?
1656, the flood of the earth took place in the second month,
But they got on in 1655.
1656. I keep dropping that. Sorry, 1656.
But that's fourth year and all the
Yes.
other third.
That's Passover. So put Passover on the chart. This is Passover here. We don't know when that is, but this is Passover here. It's in the third year. In between the second Passover and this first Passover, in the same year, is the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement here lines up exactly in between these 2 days.
But isn't there always a Day of Atonement
Yes,
every year?
yes. It's always between Passover and Passover. So that's what I'm showing you. I know it's getting late.
No, it's not. I mean, isn't the Day of Atonement always in the fall feast?
Yes.
Okay, and isn't it always a certain date after?
The Day of Atonement is when Satan will be locked away.
Yeah, but the Day of Atonement is also a particular day in the seventh month.
Yes. It's in between Passover last year, Passover this year, and Passover next year.
Yeah, it always is.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
So between this Passover and this Passover, which is another in the second month, is the Day of Atonement in between those two. So why is it 2034? Because it's an atonement. It's not a Passover. Right? That's what these are showing you.
Maybe it's late.
It is late. We have to do it on paper. Okay? So if that's gonna take place, why is nobody, everyone's looking for Jesus? Nobody's looking for the two witnesses. So now I'm gonna tell you another little clue. What are the two witnesses going to be doing?
What Elijah
What did Elijah do?
brought fire down from heaven and brought,
What if that's
No
Elijah
rain.
that does? I don't think it will be, but that would be sure. Elijah did the same thing. There's Moses and Elijah who we think of the two witnesses.
Are you like?
So Moses is what? He's a scholar about the law. What's Elijah? He's the rough and tumble guy. Okay? So now what did Yeshua say about the two witnesses? Surely Elijah will come first and restore all things. What does that mean? What has to be restored? What has to be restored? Okay, so Ellen White restored the Sabbath in 1861. The festival restored by, say, the Church of God and the Sacred Name Movement. And then the Sacred Name Movement in 1930, both these guys at the same time, 1930 came out of the Seventh Day Adventists and started the name of Yahweh. Okay, what else?
Yes.
No, you missed one.
how about turning
The
the hearts of,
calendar, what?
how about turning the hearts of the fathers to the sons?
What does that mean? What does that mean? Next, so you turn your heart back to Jehovah, lest he come and strike the earth with a curse. He struck the earth with a lot of curses. What else has to be restored? The calendar. We got the Hillel calendar since Hillel. What has to be restored? Not the Hillel calendar. The crescent and barley moon. Who restored the crescent and barley moon? So right now, you've now eliminated all Christian pastors.
Yeah.
You've now eliminated all Hillel calendar. You've definitely eliminated all the Zadok people, Enoch, Dead Sea Scroll calendar people, Jubilee calendar, Lunar calendar. They're all eliminated. What does that leave you with? Who brought back the barley and crescent moon calendar? Who? Who? Herod? Nehemiah. Nehemiah. He started in 1996.
Wasn't it his sister?
What?
Wasn't it his sister?
No, it's Nehemiah.
Was it Haman? So he
Yeah,
just.
and Michael Rood started it in 1996 as well, based on what Nehemiah taught him.
Last two.
Yeah, right there. In this last Jubilee cycle, the calendar's been restored. What else has to be restored?
Language.
No, they've been speaking Hebrew since 1880. No. Jubilee cycles. What else, Governors?
They have to be brought back to the land.
Sorry?
They have to be brought back to the land.
That's going to take place as well, but it's not the two witnesses that are going to do that, but they'll cause a lot of it to come about. You will be brought back to the land at this time. You'll be brought back to the land. So there's going to be what I believe to be two escapes. You'll be brought back to the land at this one for the second one. Then you have to flee through the mountain of Golgotha, which is when he touches down. And then the 3.5-year tribulation takes place. And then you hide for time and a half time in the land of Moab, where you will hide you as a shadow in the night. Both sides, see what your shadow looks like. It's a full moon. That's when you flee at Passover. So now you know who to be looking for. Yes, Yvette.
Is that part of the sealing?
Speak up.
Is that part of the sealing?
The sealing. The sealing. Okay.
You're not. Okay.
When did you, Yvette? When did you start keeping Torah?
2010?
27?
10. 2010.
2010. Right there. Glenn, when did you start?
2009.
2009. Anybody else?
2009.
2009. I started 2005. What? 2010. 12, 7.
1997.
All within.
Well, I actually started reading the Bible back in 1981. But there's something going on here. There's a big influx of the Hebrew roots. All the fighting, infighting, you're right, I'm wrong, right, you're wrong. Something took place here. What is the sealing of the 144? What does the sealing mean?
Markings.
Was the curse lifted?
What?
Was the curse lifted?
The curse lifted?
Yeah, there was a.
No.
curse that was put
This-
upon.
This curse is gonna go until Satan's destroyed or locked up.
No, I'm talking about when Ezekiel that was sleeping on his left side, and because
Okay, I don't know that. There's a bunch of
that calculation matches around this same
Yeah.
time period.
210.
Judah repented, Israel did not.
210 is when it comes out to 2009.
Right.
But I'm not 100% sure, so I don't teach that, but yes, I know that. Could that be that? Yes, okay, but I don't know.
What about restoration of the temple?
Dave, do we need the temple?
Or
We just need a red heaven. We just need an altar.
we need an altar.
Yeah. We have an altar. The altar is called Golgotha. Golgotha is where Yeshua was killed.
But not according to the Jews.
No.
That's
They
another
say Mount of
matter.
Olives.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but the Mount of Olives is destroyed by all the dead bodies.
Ah.
Right?
Right.
So, anyway. When did the sealing take place? You are the seal. There's a scripture says the sealed keep the commandments of God. I don't know where that is. I'm not sure if I'm quoting it right. I'm thinking of Ezekiel 14 or 20. I'm not sure at all. But you are sealed. You are keeping the Sabbath. You're keeping the holy days. You're eating no, you're eating kosher. You're eating kosher,
Cut through.
right? I'm getting tired. All the clues. Everyone knows we're near the end, but nobody knows exactly when. If I'm wrong, I said I shut down here. I was thinking I was going to do it there. I'm almost as positive I'm standing here today, that's going to happen then, based on this record. But if I'm wrong, there is that possibility. We won't know until 2027. No matter what theology you subscribe to, you must have all end time prophecy completed by 2044. Because that's when the seventh millennium begins in the B that following year. And that seventh millennium is the seventh millennium of rest, the Hebrews 3 and 4 that we talked about yesterday or 2 days ago. So unless those days were cut short, which has happened because it worked out this way, those 12 years are cutting it short. Your theology has got to fit in that time slot. Agree with me or not, doesn't matter. Because you cannot prove this Jubilee cycle wrong. I got 68 proofs confirming when the Sabbatical and Jubilee years are. And they're scriptures, not just artifacts. They're written in stone. Prove them wrong. I dare you. And when you do it, it will now be yours, and you'll understand this, and you'll now have to go out and speak about this, because it's no longer Joe Dumond, it's you who are reading the scriptures and understand it. And I know that what I say sounds absolutely insane. That's why I read the scriptures. That's why Nick read the scriptures. Okay, Daniel 8, 11, 12, and 13. Malachi 3, 2 to 4. Prove them wrong. Look for the two witnesses. They will have restored all things before the Messiah comes, somewhere in here. So that's where I'm going to stop tonight. I think you got enough to keep you awake at night. We are going to come back here, Ella, on Friday. Me. So I'm coming back here on Friday. I'm going to teach you how to know which calendar to use. It's really quite simple. The same as this is quite simple. All you gotta do is count 7. That's what I'm going to show you. Now, take the riddle book, take the charts, take as many as you want, and give them to your church, your friends, your family, and say, I heard this lunatic talking, but man, he made a lot of sense. Read the riddle book. Read it. Don't just look at the picture. It's a pretty picture. You gotta read it. If you read it, okay, Yeshua said, no one can know the day or the hour. Therefore, all Christians say that this guy is a nutcase because he's setting dates. I did not set dates. I did Jubilee counting, and I found things that match. And the dates fell off in my lap. And if I don't tell you, I'm a false prophet. If I do tell you, I'm a servant of God. And if I get things wrong a little bit, that's because I'm trying to figure out just like you. I'm not claiming anything, but I'm trying to understand my God. And because I do that, I've shared it. And because I've shared it, you've listened, and I struck a nerve with you, and you're here. Which means you now have this responsibility to share this message. Now, not everyone can be as gifted as me at speaking in English. Not everyone can be as good looking as me. You didn't bite. Okay, but you all have your talents, and I don't have a lot of talents, but you can put your talent to work to help share this message. You can help us inside the moon with your skills and your brain. You can go and tell other people on your own. But you only have maybe a year before all hell breaks up. Or maybe you got 4 years until all hell breaks up. But all hell is coming. And it's not 20, 50 years away. It's right here. Because we're 19 years away from the 7th millennium. So all this has got to take place in that time frame. You may not agree. That's fine. I'll still love you. Maybe not as much, but I still will. But it's got to fit in here. My pattern lines up with Noah. My pattern lines up with Sodom. My pattern lines up with Joseph. Now notice that Joseph's 7 years of plenty end in the 3rd year of the 5th sabbatical cycle. 1, 2, 3. Have you noticed the stock market lately? It keeps going up. It keeps going up. Woohoo. I thought it was about to go down. Boy, did I get my clock late. It went against me. It kept going against me. I said, well, I'll go down this year. No, it went against me again. Because I didn't understand this. It's going up. But this is going to start going down. When does it start in here? You could say Aviv. You could say July 12th. You could say Aviv 27th. It could be October, September, like it always is. I don't know. Pray to Jehovah. Ask him to help you understand. Pray to Jehovah. Okay, so let's wrap up. I'm tired. My eyes are watering. I went to sleep this afternoon, didn't sleep a wink because I'm masked up. Whacked. Yeah. And I've been excited ever since. So thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. It's always good to have a live audience to see and look at. Come back on Friday night, and we're going to teach you how to prove the calendar, which one to use. It's very simple. No man knows the day or the hour. That's your biggest clue, because it tells you the very day and hour the Messiah is coming. Right? No, he said nobody knows the day or the hour. Yes, and Paul says, we know the season, brethren, we need not be afraid. How can we know the season if nobody knows the day or the hour? Because Paul and the saints at that time knew the Torah. Christians today have done away with the Torah, so they don't know anything. That's why they're guessing when he's coming back. Which is what Julius Africanus said. The 500 AD was when the Messiah is coming back. We had a gap there in 2,000 years, which is what most Christians still do study. That's Julius Africanus. Good night, folks. Thank you.